Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Affordable Flyers. RedBull pilot flies the racing line at Bahrain International Circuit. New policy for certifying sport planes. South Korea to buy Bristell aircraft for training. And I'm your host, Holland Lee. Welcome to Airborne Affordable Flyers, our programming designed to help you get and stay in aviation as affordably as possible. Overseen by the editorial staff of the award-winning SportPlane resource guide, we know well the challenges faced by today's sport flyers, and we're here to help you enjoy flying to the utmost. Let's get into today's stories. RedBull pilot flies the racing line at Bahrain International Circuit. Luke Czepiela traced the full ideal line of the Bahrain International Circuit at low level, including short takeoffs and landings on the start-finish straight in a CubCrafters Carbon Cub UL, powered by a Rotax 916 IS engine. The flight is documented in the short film Aircraft Meets Racetrack, the first project to emerge from BRP-Rotax's brand ambassador partnership with Czepiela, launched in 2025. The short film premiered during the Bahrain International Circuit's official F1 preseason press conference. The project transfers what racing drivers follow on the ground with precision accuracy into the sky. The circuit's racing line becomes an aerial flight path, demanding exceptionally tight tolerances, high and low speeds, and uncompromising line discipline. The maneuver required extreme precision. Low altitude, shifting wind conditions, more than 495 tall light poles, and the narrow enclosed layout of the Grand Prix track created an environment with no margin for error. Peter Elsinger, General Manager of BRP-Rotax and Vice President of Sales, Marketing, RPS Business and Communications, said, quote, "With Luke Czepiela, we aim to create something that authentically unites our two passions, racing and aviation," end quote. After the break, letters of deviation notice published for experimental aircraft.
For over 30 years, the massive SportPlane resource guide has provided expert, credible information, evaluations, and critical analysis of all that the sport aviation world has to offer. The all-new digital SportPlane resource guide is coming with extensive multimedia features that are constantly updated. An even more comprehensive online guide to all things sport aviation. Available soon. www.sportplane.com.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories with a new addition to the Aero-News team, Cam Walton.
Thanks, Holland. Letters of deviation notice published for experimental aircraft.
One FAA rule is changing and another is being replaced regarding letters of deviation, regulations, and guidance related to flight training, checking, and testing in aircraft holding experimental and limited category airworthiness certificates. Per 14 CFR 91326D and affirmed by a policy notice issued January 13, all letters of deviation authority, or LODAs, issued under 91319H for experimental aircraft will be rescinded and replaced by December 1 of this year. This has been anticipated, and as long as affected LODA holders and the FAA are proactive, it should not affect the availability of LODAs or the training they allow.
Velocity to partner with UK Aerodynamics.
Velocity Inc. is partnering with UK Aerodynamics Inc. in Florida to grow and move into the new MOSAIC aircraft market. In the partnership, the management and staff of Velocity will remain in place, and Dwayne Swing will be business advisor and play the guardian role in the company. Scott Swing will remain as president and director, and Riley Swing will remain as director and vice president. UK has an established large manufacturing facility for unmanned aircraft and aviation business interest in several countries around the world.
GoFundMe appeal for help with out-of-production kits.
Steve Smoos has decided to take on the challenge of bringing old, unique airplane kits back to life and is running a GoFundMe campaign to get started. He plans to revive old, affordable airplane kits by finishing engineering and tooling and providing modern updates. Smoos says he's been building airplanes for 30 years and a couple of years ago received the rights from the current owner of a set of airplane kits that have been out of production for over 2 decades.
eXenos first flight, Bremerton Aviation Center for Education, Sonex Aircraft.
Congrats are being given to the Bremerton Aviation Center for Education base of Bremerton, Washington, whose Zero electric-powered Xenos serial number X30, flew for the first time on February 5th. The aircraft was built by students participating in the Base Youth Education Program and is owned by a group of approximately 15 EAA Chapter 406 members. The building where we built it has a simulator room with the Volkswagen-powered version that stays pretty busy, writes co-owner George Steed. The building also has a bank of solar panels.
Back to you, Holland.
Thanks, Cam. That's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. New policy for certifying sport planes. Last week, the FAA published Order 8130.2L, which contains new policy for certifying aircraft consistent with changes in the MOSAIC rule. The new order contains an update to standard operating limitations that allows light sport repair people who have an inspection rating, LSRI, to conduct condition inspections on all experimental amateur-built aircraft. Although the MOSAIC rule changed 14 CFR 65.109 to allow LSRIs to conduct condition inspections on all EABs, most of these aircraft have an operating limitation that, independent of the rule, state who may perform condition inspections. LSRIs were not explicitly called out in that previous operating limitation language as having inspection privileges, and the FAA has consistently stated to EAA that operating limitations must be updated to enable their new privileges for individual EABs. The same issue affects the privileges of light sport repair people who have a maintenance rating, LSRM, who may work on their own aircraft or operate in a commercial capacity. The EAA is working to obtain more clarification on this matter and potential alternatives to this paperwork exercise, but owners may now update to the new operating limitation standard found in 8130.2L to remove any ambiguity over LSRI and LSRM inspection privileges for their aircraft. New operating limitations may be issued either through the local Flight Standards District Office or a designated airworthiness representative. After these messages, South Korea to buy Bristell aircraft for training.
Direct Fly USA proudly introduces the new Alto NG, a single-engine, two-seat light sport aircraft for the North American market. This simple, all-metal aircraft design provides low-maintenance cost, easy, comfortable access, and responsive flight controls. Equipped with the Rotax 912 engine and a ballistic parachute, the Alto NG is reliable and safe. Learn more about the Alto NG at directflyusa.com.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/Rusty today for details.
Welcome back. South Korea to buy Bristell aircraft for training. Czech aircraft manufacturer BRM AERO will deliver its Bristell B23-915 IFR two-seat light sport training aircraft to the Republic of Korea Air Force as its next-gen training aircraft. The multi-year contract includes cockpit procedure trainers and comprehensive technical support, with phased deliveries scheduled from 2026 through 2028. Following a competitive test and evaluation process, the program supports BRM AERO's expansion into defense and government training. The Bristell B23-915 IFR platform combines a modern Garmin glass cockpit with the proven Rotax 915 ISC turbocharged engine, delivering IFR capability and efficient operations for high-utilization training environments. Key factors in BRM AERO's successful bid included the aircraft's technical capabilities, strong life cycle economics, and the company's long-term commitment to production and parts support. These elements are critical for sustained military pilot training operations. The program includes a spare parts package, support equipment and technical documentation, along with in-country training for key personnel, including instructors and maintenance teams. BRM AERO has not publicly disclosed the number of aircraft in the newly announced Republic of Korea Air Force deal. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.